Girl, can we even say that? Where filters are off and laughs are loud and absolutely nothing is professional advice. No, seriously. Everything we say is based on personal opinions, messy life experiences, and the occasional, did I really just say that moment? Listener discretion is highly advised, especially if you're easily offended or if you're in the car with your mum. We are not responsible for any side eyes, deep thoughts, bad decisions, or sudden bursts of empowerment that may happen after listening. Tune in, have fun, and remember, we're here to spark conversation, not to live your lives for you. So, this is a bonus episode, guys. This is actually Candice's idea. She's going to take full credit. We're going to make some cocktails while discussing some gossip, basically. Yes. Okay, so first, hard hitting P. Diddy.
Okay.
Girl, you've been following it, the case.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The drama.
The drums. Did you watch the testimony that Cassie did?
Yeah, do you know what? I read it. I read her testimony, and then I've been like keeping up to date on like what was being said at court. You know, they've been updating you on social media.
It's crazy because she's like fully pregnant as well, isn't she?
She's fully pregnant. I definitely feel like that was deliberate of P. Diddy to try and not let her husband in the court case, like psychological.
Oh god, 100%.
She's pregnant, don't let her support him.
Oh, the sort of stuff that he must have heard in that court case though.
Yeah. I just feel like it's crazy because everyone was looking at P. Diddy and Cassie from previously, and they were looking at them like, oh my god, Cassie, she's living a life.
Yeah.
But you never really know
what's behind closed
doors. So careful what you wish for and looking at other people's lives because you don't know, but it is that's really happening.
That is actually so true.
Social media isn't always.
Did you see the video of him attacking her in the hotel?
Yeah, there's not. What surprises me is like everyone that is defending P. Diddy. I mean, that was a domestic violence case. And then the points of like, well, why isn't she leaving him? Well,
girl,
exhibit one, trauma one for one. I think people are getting a psychological from the age of 19 onwards, a psychological effect, and then also as well the fact that he has a lot of money. He does all of this. There's love bombing.
Yeah,
you like that has a psychological effect on them, and you love bomb them as well. So it's like there's a lot of psychological effects that she's had. And then on top of it as well, even the violence, it's like, well, that is the reason why she might not have said. And then also, why is she taking so long to say something? That I never got, because it's like, well, if she didn't start the ball rolling with this, we wouldn't be here today finding out all of this about P. Diddy. Yeah. She's one of the first people to speak out. And a lot of people in the industry knew about it. It was being revealed, but no one said anything.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing, isn't it? That how many people actually knew.
Yeah, and then also she's being blamed for being a victim. So that's like another reason why a lot of victims don't speak out, because then they get blamed, and it's like, even the little comments that you read online, she must have a strong husband. I mean, she has a good husband.
Yeah, she has a great husband to put her through that. And then also, what do you mean, a strong husband, all of that? Girl, she survived that herself.
Yeah,
like, she got through that. Like, she come out the other side. And then also as well, with the whole, like, people have been saying a lot of, like, her, basically, kind of like blaming her. Sort of like you said, like, why didn't you leave? And then also saying there's been texts that come out that she sent him. I think she was asking about a freak off or saying something. But I'm like, once she stated as well, she was fully in love with this man. She said most of the time that she had quality time with him was these things. And quite a lot of people probably won't know unless you've been in a trauma bond or in like a toxic situationship like that, and you're so mentally fucked up that you think that this is love and you think that you love this person and you just want any time with them,
and
whatever it takes.
As well, like when you look at the messages, I think there was one text message she sent him. She was like, "If you don't do this X, Y, Z, if you don't treat me right, I'm leaving you."
Yeah.
And I think she said she sent those type of texts a few times. That's like another example of how she was so in love with him. She would do anything to get his approval, but she never ever would get it. Yeah. And that kind of shows you of like how she's not liking the freak off. She's like being like degraded every day.
Literally,
like she's just to get his love, which means that she's loving him more than herself. So she is still a victim in that play, because he knows that, and I don't think he would have.
He's a narcissist.
Exactly, he's a narcissist. So he knows who his victims are as well.
Of course.
So, and she's not the only victim. as well.
No,
Like, he's definitely
there's
had
loads
other
of
people.
reasons.
Like even J-Lo. J-Lo's pretty quiet. I think that one's interesting because in the court case came out.
What was J-Lo involved in it?
J-Lo
I haven't
was like-
actually heard anything about J-Lo.
The thing is, that's why I say it's interesting. Is no one said anything about J-Lo. J-Lo was previously with P. Diddy, if anyone remembers back in the day. And she, the reason is you don't hear about, because she's friends with P. Diddy. She's been friends with P. Diddy. They were like on lives during like lockdown.
Okay.
So they stayed being friends, but they were previously dating.
friends.
So they were friends as well. So it's like she previously dated him back in the day, and she disappeared and she kind of like broke up with him and kind of separated herself. You never really saw them publicly together after that. It's because of the shooting that happened. The shooting with P. Diddy in the club. And
what, was she involved in that?
well, we don't know, but someone was holding a gun.
We don't know.
Here's the thing, someone went down for it, but they have said they didn't do it. And they were friends. And the person that it happened to, they got shot in the face.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
they actually got shot in the face. And
They survived that?
yes. And they said...
When was this?
This was like maybe like 90s, 80s, like back in the day, or
Yeah,
early 2000s, but it's like back in the day, like 2000, 90s time.
Okay.
Not 80s, like 90s, 2000s. And the person that got shot actually said it wasn't the person that went down either. So we do wonder who actually, like, was it P. Diddy who shot him? Who knows? But who was holding his gun? Because we know P. Diddy never
Was P. Diddy there then?
Yeah, and he was with J-Lo. And J-Lo was there on the night, but here's the thing, we all know that P. Diddy didn't carry his stuff. He had like Cassie carrying his things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it does make you think that it was definitely a reason why he just, you know, moved away from it. He never really, this is the thing that makes me wonder though, it's like you have people kind of like Naomi Campbell and J-Lo who were very, very close to P. Diddy, must have seen things, but like had a relationship with him for decades, so you kind of must have seen something, but then they just silence afterwards. So there's a lot of people where it's like questionable. Okay, Cassie's spoken out about it. What about everyone else though?
Yeah. Do you think they haven't spoken out about it because they was quite involved and they don't want people to know how involved they actually was?
I think there's probably quite a few people who are actually probably more involved and they just don't want to say it. Because P. Diddy's parties was like the thing back in the day. It's like, oh, everyone wanted to be there. Everyone wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people now, they might have been in one. Like, you know, you heard what 50 Cent said? He said he's got the tapes. 50 Cent's a menace. I think he's making a documentary.
That is so funny.
So we might
He's
find
going
out
to make
more.
so much money from that.
It's going to be so much money.
He's got loads of money as well, hasn't he? 50 Cent.
Yeah, 50 Cent.
Hasn't he got like, he's not, well, obviously he's famous for his music, but he has those other businesses and that's where he actually gets his money from,
with,
right?
and his show with Power and stuff.
Oh, was that his show? Shut the front door.
Yes.
Oh, damn, he's making moves.
Yeah, he is. 50 Cent.
I kind of like 50 Cent. He seems like a
He's a nice
guy. I know him. I don't know him, but
he's like an a-hole. But he's like a funny a-hole. He's honest. I think that's what people like him.
A-hole.
He's honest. It's like he'll say mean things, but it's like you know, like Madonna. I think there was a post once, and she was like laying on the floor in lingerie and stuff, and he was like, "Get your old haggard ass off the floor," and it was like out of nowhere, and he tagged her. And she came back like, I thought we was friends, and he's like, I ain't your friend. And they were back and forth arguing.
Oh my God,
he's like, I met you years
funny.
ago one time, like, we're not friends. Like, they had a whole conversation, but Madonna is 70.
Yeah.
She is 70 on the floor, spread out in lingerie. he has one point, but like...
Yeah, he kind of made a point.
But like, that was mean. Like,
it's kind of uncalled for.
But like 50 Cent tells his own son he's getting no money. So I feel like 50 Cent...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's brutal.
He's brutal. His son can get anything.
Clearly, I don't know much about 50 Cent.
Yeah, 50 Cent is brutal.
So, do you know, did you see the testimony that her ex came in and done as well? Cassie's?
No, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so, I can't remember what his name is now, but he came on the stand. But, basically, he was just saying how, like, controlled Cassie was even when they wasn't supposedly together. Well, Cassie told them that they wasn't together, but then it came out that, like, Diddy basically said to him, was like, oh no, we was together. He set his car alight.
Oh yeah.
Or something, done something to his car or fucked up his car, but he couldn't prove it, so he does assume it was Diddy, because he was, like, threatening and stuff. It's so strong.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. What is that?
It when it said cream, I thought it would be like a white cream. It looks like kind of like a coffee liquor that I've mixed with the strawberry. You can show this.
That is so funny. Well, they're both freaking pretty. Mine looks like piss.
Mine looks like sick. Yeah. That shit looks like sick.
We don't know, it might taste nice. I think that might need a remake too.
Yeah. This is like coffee.
Okay.
This
Like
does
coffee?
not go. This is not coffee taste.
I hate
This is not
coffee.
gonna.
This is actually okay.
I'm really sorry, I'm gonna have to redo this one.
Do you try more? Okay.
Yours is nice.
Oh! That is disgusting.
This is actually really bad.
That's so gross.
This is so bad. Okay, we know a job that I can't
Go
have.
up to the screen and show them.
Okay, a job that I can never
have.
Can you see it like this? Wait, hold on.
Girl,
What you need to know is that this is not okay.
This is not one, okay?
Okay, let me try and think. If I can't make a good cocktail, I'm a bartender, I'm gonna get fired. There's just some
Pressure on. I'm gonna grab this time. Okay, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna go with this. It smells nice, but strong. Did you see Kris Jenner and her facelift?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, she looks
It's like they
amazing.
have the same one as Lindsay Lohan. They both come in with new faces.
Literally.
And do you know,
She looks 20 years younger. She looks amazing.
She looks amazing. And Lindsay Lohan, I'm happy for her.
Mm.
She's had such a bad
She's
past
had a
few years.
bad,
She
life,
was
hasn't
like-
she? Well, good and bad.
Yeah,
like,
good and bad. Like, she was the star and then she was the wreck of Hollywood.
Literally. Oh, same with Britney as well, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they struggled. I actually saw a picture of them not too long ago, and
Is
it was.
Britney okay now?
I don't know.
I'm not too sure.
I think she's better. Okay, it might be a little bit pushing it.
Her captions get me every time. And do you know what? For Halloween, I'm gonna dress as Britney. I'm gonna come in the
love
club
that.
in a crop top and some little underwear, some nice, and I'm gonna dance around.
Oh my god, you should get
And
like
spin.
everyone to come as all different Britneys.
Yeah, just scare her. That would be scary if everyone was like in underwear, dancing weirdly in like with knives in her hand.
Knives?
Yeah, she had knives in her hand.
When?
This was like for Halloween. She was like on camera doing spins and like a crop top with some like fake
What?
knives.
I didn't even see that.
She was like, hey, I love flowers and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, Britney.
Okay, girl.
Okay. But someone said that she's not crazy. This is how she's always danced. But we said she was hot when she did it back in the day. So that could also partly be true.
Yeah.
But then I don't know about the captions. But maybe she was always like this. Who knows?
No.
Oh,
but
she's mentioned Britney as well.
Oh, she did, didn't she? She did mention Britney. I can't remember what she said though about her. But I know she definitely mentioned
I
her.
can't remember what she said. I think it was something to do with like a party that they had. I think that she said it might have started with P. Diddy.
That don't taste bad, but that is fucking
Is it strong?
wrong.
Ooh.
You're like, oh. What was your line like?
It's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Is it strong?
Not strong enough. I think it's strong. Ooh, this is strong.
Okay, yours is cute actually.
I feel like you're more on the pathway to a bartender. You're definitely further on the pathway than me.
There's so many things with like celebrities, and obviously there's so many things that we don't see. But the things that we do see is like, I feel like sometimes people do sweep it under the rug, even though it might be like a big thing. Like even like the Chris Brown thing when he like hit Rihanna and they had that argument and that fight, and she had like a black eye and everything. It was quite bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that in the car or something?
Yeah. Do you know what? Is with that. I do like agree with some people's points of like he was only 19 and he's gone to prison, he's paid for what he did, and like someone's past, like they could change. But the only thing is, Has he changed?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I mean, I've heard things about Karrueche-chan. I don't know if you know her. She was his stylist, so he was this was the girl that was seeing Chris Brown for a while. After Rihanna, I think they even had a situation where they both met each other on a boat, and they were both seeing Chris Brown at the same time, like having this tug of war against Chris.
Oh shit!
It was really bad actually. I think there was like. During the time, there was a whole social media war between like Rihanna and her fans and Karrueche-chan.
Oh my god.
So anyway, she had in the end, he kept cheating on her. I think he got pregnant. He got another girl pregnant. And this was like her final like I'm leaving you. And when a little while afterwards, she ended up taking him to court with a restraining order.
What, Rihanna?
Karrueche, saying that Chris won't leave her alone. He sent like threatening messages like he's gonna kill her and her family.
Oh, shit.
And then there was also something about him kicking her down the stairs. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's speculation. But Karrueche-chan's a very tiny woman. She's very petite, very short. So I was like, whoo, okay, well if he's doing that, then I don't know if he's changed. So who knows? But there's still. I think for me, because there's still like speculating rumours around Chris Brown and his violent tendencies, is why I'm a bit like, well, has he learned?
Has he not?
Who knows? So I always have a look about Chris Brown. So I'm never like a huge fan. I think he's a great artist though. Great
definitely. Yeah. And also as well, it's all speculation, isn't it? Because like you said, like. Obviously, we know, the thing happened with Rihanna, we know that. But, obviously, people can change. I do believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe that as well.
But then also, some people don't. So, it's hard.
We pretend to change. So, it's like, it's hard to know unless you know the ins and outs.
It all depends on if they've actually gone to therapy and actually worked on themselves. Because I don't think people just change. Like, I think they need to work on it to change. Yeah, definitely in that sort of, like, aspect of everything. Yeah. But I think it's quite crazy with like the like men and abuse and stuff like that, and touching on that, is that I feel if you talk to them, I feel like they don't actually think they're in the wrong half the time.
No.
Like if you actually like, they might not want other people to like see them doing something or like whatever, because they know in their head they know from other people it looks bad. But I feel like if you actually sit down and talk to half of them, I think they would actually think they're so important and think like they're so like.
Yeah, you know, like I feel like with that opinion, I feel like in my opinion, I feel like the problem with that is that men these days don't see themselves as protectors for women.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest problems. Is that like men back in the day, they were seen as the protectors of women, right? Because whether like yes, a woman can do a guy's job. Yeah, a guy can do a woman's job, but scientifically they tend to be stronger. Scientifically, they tend to like have more of the physical attributes that we don't have. Yeah, and so they are like 80% of the time stronger than the woman. So like, in a sense, is a man scientifically, physically, his job is to protect a woman. Yeah, and men these days aren't protecting women. I feel like back in the day, a guy could attack a woman in the street or mug her. Men would come to her rescue. Yeah. Nowadays, people just not my business.
Yeah, they're like, no, not my problem.
Yeah, not my problem. It's not the same anymore in the sense of like, there's now less and less men thinking it's their job to protect.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's like even with the Cassie thing, it was where's her accountability?
Yeah.
Where's the accountability? Yeah. It doesn't matter whether she's 19, 30. Yeah. I still think it's disgusting what he did to her. So the point still stands of what he did was wrong and he did a disgusting action. So that's where the focus should lie. Yeah. Not on was she a perfect victim. Yeah. Perfect victim, imperfect victim. Look at the Predator.
Literally.
Right?
Come on, guys. Yes, like, why are we always victim blaming? Why are we not looking at the person that's actually doing
the thing? Right?
It's the same thing that comes down with like talking about like men again, is the fact of the matter of them is like they're like, let me tell how I say it. They always think that they're like not the problem. Yeah. They think that it's like the woman shouldn't have done this or said this, or like they provoked me, or like this happened, or like she should have shut up, or she shouldn't have said that. And they seem to kind of like sweep it under the rug and like convince themselves that like what they've done is justified. And then they might say, oh, like I felt bad about it, or like, oh, I felt bad hurting you. But when it actually comes to taking accountability and actually saying like I shouldn't have done that, they're more like, yeah, well, it's you know, it's bad that you got hurt, but and it's like there should be no buts. There should be like, you know,
there's right and there's wrong.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And laying hands on anyone, woman, man, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I agree.
I agree. But I feel like with like men and like the stigma of like men and women, have you seen that podcast? It's called Whatever Podcast.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, bunch of cunts.
Okay. Let's not that. Yeah, can we say that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
She might have bleeped that bit out. But so basically, it's this chauvinistic men's podcast, and they're basically saying that women shouldn't have any rights anymore. Yeah, literally, it's crazy.
Okay.
That
Andrew Tate.
yeah, literally.
Do you know what I say? If my man wants to act like Andrew Tate, he can look like him. Hair remover in the shampoo, and just look like him then.
You can be bored, bitch.
Yeah, don't look like him if you want to be him.
Literally, no, they're awful. Like they're such like middle age. They're not even attractive men either. It's just like, even though it doesn't matter if you're attractive or not, but I'm just like, you're like saying that all this stuff that they say. I'm just like, you're not a prize. Like, what are you even saying? So basically, they don't think that women should get the right to vote, and their reasoning for this is that men are the protectors, and then they would have to be drafted, even though drafted is not even a thing anymore, like in the war. And there's also women that are in the army that are women.
Yeah,
there's not even just men now.
Thank you.
So I'm just like, I don't really understand your point, but basically they're saying that the man should be the head of the household, and the woman should cater to what the man wants, and that basically the man what the man says goes.
There's a perfect way to do a event like this. Okay, so are you gonna pay all of the bills? Are you gonna afford my lifestyle, what I want? I'm gonna stay at home. They don't want that.
They don't.
This is the problem as well. There's a lot of people wanting to have this traditional woman, but not wanting to be a traditional man.
Yeah.
And that's where the issue lies. A traditional man, exactly. A traditional man isn't someone that has multiple wives and does whatever. No, a traditional man is a man who goes out and works and provides for his woman and his family. So he should be working around the clock. He's not having free time. Yeah. So, in my opinion, if a guy is so obnoxious like that, and they want to tell him you can't vote, you can't do this, well then be that same stereotype of a man.
Yeah.
And you know, I play this game with men sometimes where like I've had guys be like to me, you know, like, let's go out for dinner, and then afterwards, you know, let's go for some drinks at my apartment. So I say, yeah, I've got a better idea. Why don't we meet up earlier? I'm going to get my nails done. And they go, I just met you. And I was like, oh, precisely. And they go, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Love that.
Right? I see what you did there. When you do it back to them, they're like, how could you say something like that? How could you say something like that?
I love that.
Right?
I love that so much. I was talking to this guy on Hinge, and I've only recently started to go on Hinge and start dating again, trying to get out of my toxic relationship. That's a whole other story. But
relate
to that. But he was like, oh, do you want to go on like a day or whatever? I was like, yeah, cool. And he was like, Sunday. I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, what did you have in mind? And he was like, oh, did you want to come round to mine? I'll cook dinner. And I was like, hold up. I was like, haven't even met you yet.
Trying to decorate cooking
dinner. Trying to decorate all nice. Like it should be like all great, and I should be like, oh yeah. Okay, if we was going out and we was actually like dating and I'd known you, then that's a cute day.
That's cute.
That's cute. If I know you, first time meeting you, you just want to fuck, and I'm not about that. Yeah. And I put my profile that I'm not about that, so I don't know why you're bothering. You're just wasting your time.
There's a lot of guys out there like that where they expect women to just give themselves straight away from dating, and I've seen it so much. But to me, I just do the same like mind frame on them. I just go, okay, well then do this X, Y, and Z to me, like you're my man.
Yeah.
Like, wait, no, and I'm like, well, there we go.
I literally love that. I need to start doing that.
You need to start doing that. Just do it back to them, and then straight away they'll be like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that.
Wait a minute, I don't pay for this girl's nails.
Right? They can't pay for nails, but they want you to go back to the apartment.
Literally.
It's prostitution that you make more money.
Yeah, we've been making money.
You make more money. And this is the problem I think with the men as well, is that like, they're making all these demands of women, but women are now having to work. Women are now having to be mothers. Women are now having to do a lot of things to protect themselves now and our kids. So it's like, now women are becoming more like sufficient. Yeah. They are asking the men, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of their hate from the men comes from, because they're like, okay, well, there's all these expectations of a man like in this day and age, and can I live up to it
Yeah.
for a woman? And I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from as well.
Would you rather be stuck in the woods with a bear or a man?
Oh.
Have you not heard that?
No.
Yeah, so it was this thing that was going around like viral, and everyone was asking all women like, what would you prefer? Like, you're stuck in the woods with a bear or a man? And most of the women were saying bear.
Oh wow.
Like, they were saying, I'd rather be stuck in with a bear. Because, like, to be fair, if you're stuck in you're stuck in the woods, with a bear, then at least a bear can't SA you.
That is true.
Yeah.
It might eat you.
Maybe.
It might kill you.
Maybe it might eat you. But I guess if you know your bear logic, if you can like go in a ball or go big, then you might be alright. Because it's a whole woods and there's only one bear.
It depends on the man.
Exactly. It
That's
depends
the
on the
problem.
man.
It depends on the man. There's some men who just might take the man choice and then just push him off a cliff.
Yeah, literally.
Drown him in a river. More space to me. There we go.
I do think men and women, we do need each other.
We do, definitely.
I just feel like we need to be kinder to each other.
Exactly, kinda, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Less pitting men against women and more like looking at the people that are causing the problem. Definitely.
Exactly.
Causing the bad stereotypes and the divide. Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
This is such
of
a
course.
fun episode. Honestly, I had so much fun.
It was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
I love this. And this is also your idea. So,
yeah, thanks for having me.
full credit.
My idea, but I think we know who might end up as a bartender.
Yeah, I think I might have won that one, to be fair.
Yeah, you definitely won this one. Someone might end up with like food poisoning. I might end up with a court case.
But bye, guys.
It's okay, I'll poison them with a cocktail.